Welcome to an incomplete guide to personal growth. We invite you to take a breath and take a listen to our podcast that explores the wonder, humor, challenges, and sometimes those self-inflicted wounds on a journey of personal growth.
Our weekly podcast conversations include stories, resources, and tools that you can incorporate into your daily life. We're the mother-daughter duo of Sydney
and Kelly.
Hey, Mom.
Hi,
I was trying
Sydney.
to see what was going to happen. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Doing okay?
Yeah.
So, I was thinking, so I got an Apple Watch for the first part of my birthday gift
Yes.
from you and Dad. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So she can find her phone.
That, yes.
No, I'm just teasing.
And truly, so, because with going to school, I don't want to have my phone out. But if like Charles's daycare texts or
Right.
calls or what, or I want to see. And that honestly is truly the only reason. Now, my boyfriend felt a little hurt by that. I mean, I didn't include my mom in there either, but like, no, literally,
right.
like my thinking was literally just,
Need me.
I need a notification about Charles.
Yeah.
What was it?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, man. But then it hit me. I was like, okay, well, I mean, I'm upgrading my phone, but I haven't done that for a few years, but like, I'm doing that
A long time.
now. And you update
What?
your laptop.
Everything.
Now I've got to update my watch eventually, too.
Oh,
It's just another
But
thing.
they last forever. You mean update? You mean the...
Like, get a new one, like
Oh,
upgrade
yeah,
it, you know?
but they last a long time.
How long have you had yours? Do you even know?
No,
A
but
year?
I've... More than a year. I had my
Okay.
first one a long time, and
Okay.
it updates all the time. It keeps current. I mean, that...
I know.
And
I
for
feel
what
like
I
not
use
too
mine
much has
with, it's not
changed.
like I use... For what I use my Apple Watch,
Yeah.
I don't need... I'm not doing medical stuff on there. So I'm just...
I feel like not too much has changed with watch, but I was just
No.
thinking, like, oh my gosh, it's another thing I have to worry about upgrading.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with landlines. We never updated those.
Oh,
We never
Dad
upgraded.
Dad
We
did ask me the other day. He was like, "Do we have a landline when we first moved to San Antonio?" I'm like, "No, I'm pretty sure."
Yes, we
no
did.
way, we did not.
We
I
had
could've
one
sworn
in this
because
house because the only people that would call was the school
to the
for
landline.
notifications. Yes, that's
I
the number
don't
they
remember
had.
that at
No, you know why
all.
you don't?
Because
Because
I
it would
never
ring,
answered.
and you and Lauren would both just sit there.
And
And
we
I
had our cell phones. That's what
know.
we cared about.
So I think we had it, but I knocked it off pretty quick.
Okay, because I don't think that was for very. There's no.
No, and I kept it for Mom and Dad, but it was like, you know what, y'all can figure this out.
Just call
So,
my cell phone. Yeah.
Yeah, and
even then, like,
you
our
put it
cell
on
phones were not
speaker.
that advanced, but they were advanced enough where it's
No.
like, well, I know that whoever I want to talk to is not calling me on
Yes.
the landline.
I'm just saying, a heck of a
But
lot
I just
cheaper than
remember
all this other stuff.
racing. We would race to the landline to be the first one
Yes.
to answer and say
'Cause it's
Arundel residence.
Arundel residence. That's right. It was a privilege.
It was a privilege.
And now it's nothing.
now it's nothing. But I just think it was like that's another thing to update.
They don't even put that in houses anymore.
No, they really don't.
The new ones.
Yeah.
I was talking to a builder. Yeah.
Man, I mean, because that's smart. I mean, why was the money on it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just validating how important how expensive that
Good.
is.
I was wondering how we would segue. That was good. Oh man, yes, validation.
Validation.
This is like one I think it's one everybody struggles with, truly, because it's become. I feel like it's such a buzzword, like for just like
Yeah.
therapy.
Well,
stuff,
that validation versus, I hear that. Well, that's valid. That's valid.
It's valid. It's valid.
Well,
Okay.
but
And we're not
this
talking
is
about
different.
I'm not really
Help
talking
me.
about from the sense of validating emotions or validate
Yeah.
yes, everything, and I think we've already discussed everything you feel, your feelings, your emotions, they are
Okay.
valid to you, and there's something that you experience, and that is the thing that should be acknowledged. I'm thinking validation in the sense of kind of your self-worth, kind of like what you mean in the world, what you mean to yourself, others, like that sort of,
Okay. Yes.
not necessarily always like, I have to be validated about me being sad.
No, I don't think, yeah. And it's just this like, and it's this like internal and external
validation.
Okay. Yeah.
You can validate yourself and your self-worth. That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
And then you have the validation from other people,
From other people.
right? External.
Yes. And I this is a hard topic.
It is.
Because there's this fine line, and I think it can be confusing, that validation is not acceptance of my ideas, that I'm right and you're
Yes. You
wrong.
just came out put that recently, right? That's
I
so
did.
good.
It hit me as I was
That
sitting
is
around
so
thinking. I
good.
thought, we confuse validation with saying, yeah, you're right.
But that's
not
not
it.
what it means.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think I'm going to give 2 examples and
I'm
see
ready.
if this leads us anywhere.
Okay.
Okay. One, we had one TV in our house growing up, which was normal back then.
It sure was.
I'm just going to say. And so we had to take turns who's watching what show.
Yeah, who watched?
And I would be watching Sonny and Cher.
I got you, baby.
Right? One of my brothers, yep.
Perfect.
We talked about siblings last week. One of my brothers would stand behind and laugh and make fun of the different things.
That's awful.
So I was, and when I got married, I was watching some show, and I thought, and I looked at Paul and said, "Oh, you think this is a stupid show?"
Yeah.
He said, "No, it's not what I like, but you know."
But you
and I
like
was
it, so
like, yeah. I said, "Oh." He said, "I'm not your brother." So even though there's this valid, see that, and then here's another example of validation. When you were taking piano, you start out 7 years, you just play.
Yep.
And then it would be like a couple years in, did you hear that? Are you listening?
I gotta check in.
Yes. And I thought, when does this end? Because we have to approve everything, And then you did. It became yours.
Yeah, and then I wanted to practice
And
when nobody was home.
And you didn't need that validation from that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure when you went to college and there was a new sense, but there's this types of validation.
And I think both show like how the need for validation can change. And what you need from other people can be different, can be different.
Yeah, and just the marks of, I wasn't that they thought I was stupid or whatever it was that I was watching, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I think I want to start with like needing or wanting validation. I don't like, and that reassurance from others is not bad. Like we are literally wired for it because we're social creatures. We want to know we're accepted and belonging. And like it was based on our brain chemistry for dopamine. Like we have that released whenever we are with others and feel that sense of belonging. And like we need that for society.
Right.
But I mean, it, like anything, an extreme. Yeah. And so much of, like you were just talking about your brother, a lot of how we feel the need for validation, I mean, like anything in, psychology tends to stem from childhood.
Right.
And so it's like, for you, it's like, well, I was always made fun of, so whatever I want isn't necessarily good enough or valid.
Yeah.
And then you look and need that reassurance.
Yeah.
And so, and I think, and again, like that changes, but it's good. And I think from a sense, like I know how much I appreciate reassurance, and I know how much I appreciate just like people accepting, not necessarily always agreeing, but just accepting what I have to say. And so I definitely tend to try and like, give that to others, like preemptively almost. It's like, I want to let you know, like, that's cool. You're cool. I like it. You're good.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. But I think validation, at least it's been taken so far to mean like if you're not accepted and in the sense of you're right, then it's like, well, then I'm just not valid.
Right. And that's just not, and I think part of that is to look, we all need validation, but if we're constantly looking from it out there and we're not feeling sure enough of ourselves, I think part of the validation for me is how I feel about myself. Yeah. And I'm feeling good about myself. And if somebody doesn't agree or thinks I'm doing poorly, it's like, how do I stand up with that? If that
Yes.
doesn't knock me over, then I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you
because
have this
I'm
internal
having this
validation.
internal validation.
Yeah.
Well, I know what I'm capable of, and
Yes.
it's not, and
So you don't have to take what everybody else says. Yeah, so
right,
seriously.
right. I mean, sure, it's nice to hear it,
Oh, yeah.
but it's not dependent upon it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think too, along with that, it's like if you're with friends and you're giving opinions about something and being able to give validation in the sense of, oh, they hear what you're saying.
right.
And then you being okay if they have something
If
different
they
to say,
have different,
then
yeah,
something
and
different
being
to say.
okay,
And not having your whole world shaken because you're
right?
not having this external validation from somebody
Yeah,
else agreeing with everything you're saying.
right,
You know?
right. And so this
Yeah.
comes in. This
Yeah.
is another thing I read about validation
Mm-hmm.
with relationships. Of it's important
Mm-hmm.
in all
Yeah.
relationships, um, to know when you're not being validated,
Mm.
and what's the opposite of that.
Rejection? Is that the
I
opposite?
think because okay, say, oh, I love such and such restaurant. You like that place?
Mm.
Is it constant like that? Does that make sense? Is
Yes.
everything that you say there's this twist to?
And you're like
You're wearing that?
like making an other. It's so that kind of, because if we think of validation in the
Yeah,
sense of being accepted into society, then the opposite would be you're,
that's right.
ostracized
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah. And it's just little like that.
Yes. And it can
But
kind of chip
if
away.
you're in a relationship
And every little thing is
and
like that.
everything is like that, or
Mhm.
you're in a work relationship, it can be a work relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your coworkers, your people, how to combat that. Now, if it's in a relationship, serious boyfriend,
Yeah.
girlfriend,
That's all different.
marriage, and other, well, you need to be aware of those, because if that's happening, what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
With coworkers, then how do I withstand that? How do I tune that out?
Or how do you,
How do you combat that?
yeah. Yeah. How do
Go,
you
yeah, I do.
address it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a great time doing that. Just to say, yeah,
See, and I think that
that's
comes
me. Yes, I
from,
like that TV show. I was talking to somebody the other day, and she said, I know my husband doesn't like it, but he was like, yeah, let's watch it. And
oh,
so,
that's nice.
yeah,
And I think that comes from kind of almost just having this radical acceptance and self-worth and validation of I think if you haven't built that up, then you're not going to be able to
yes,
withstand whatever the world throws at you.
right.
And I think, it comes from spirituality and
Yeah.
like that
Who you
personal
are.
growth. It's like, yeah, it's like, can you stand in who you are and like whatever comes through your head, can you accept it?
Yeah,
Or are you rejecting parts of yourself? And if you're rejecting parts
yeah,
of yourself, then you're not and then you're
yeah,
not
right.
validating,
Then you need to look at yourself and say,
Mm-hmm.
that's a part of who I am.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's no good or bad about it. It's just like, this is who I am. Do I want it or not?
Yeah.
Like, do I want to keep going down this path or do I want
Yes.
to change,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. I mean, it could be everything from the kind of music
Yes.
you like, the movies you watch, the food I mean, it's the simple things even.
Yes.
You
And I
know?
think, and I'm somebody, and I think that comes from not judging yourself.
Mhm.
It's validation. I think another opposite of validation is judgment,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm absolute somebody that judges every move I make, everything I speak, pretty much everything I
Do
feel.
you do that to others?
See, and here's where I am in therapy.
Okay.
I don't feel like I judge people as harshly as I judge myself. But then at some point, I'm sure there's going to be a spot where I'm not giving the amount of grace that I need to give other people. Because if you don't show it to yourself, can you show it to others?
I know, right? You have to find yeah.
Currently, I feel like I do have that space. But then if I keep going down this path of such harsh judgment on myself, is that going to continue or am I going to become, a judgmental person?
Yeah.
I
think so. And not only that, just if you're so hard on yourself.
It's exhausting.
It's got to be exhausting. And
instead of just like fully accept, it's like, yeah, okay, I had that feeling. And maybe somebody else wouldn't have felt that way about it, but I did. I felt this way about the situation and I need to be okay with it. and then find a way to move on. It's like finally moving forward. But having that amount of self-worth can be very difficult sometimes, I think.
Wow, what you learn about your kids.
I know.
But that's hard.
Yeah.
And I know age helps.
I think so.
Sometimes.
I mean,
it does.
Yeah.
I mean,
always kind of, I feel like accepted just.
I have, and let me just say, I want to, because I always have felt like I was on the outside of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember a dear friend of mine in Arlington one time, we were talking. She said, yeah, I'm a margin person.
Oof, I love that.
And it's not a bad thing to be on the margin. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And it was just like
validating.
And it was like, yeah, I've always felt that way. Nobody would ever know it. Nobody ever knows.
Definitely not.
They think I'm right in there with it. And I'm like, yeah, this is awful. And I am a margin person. I think different. I do. And everybody is unique in that.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying I have been a margin person my whole life.
Yes.
And
so you're able, I feel like, to stand
I think that's
in yourself.
Part of it, yeah.
And stand with yourself. Way. And so I think validation, I think absolutely has to start from inside, because externally that's going to be so fickle and it's going to change. And, hopefully, okay, fine. Where my parents, I don't think I will ever feel validated as a person. I will feel like enough. Like there are certain people in your life, yes, but for the most part, the world is going to change, and it's going to change your opinions about you. It's going to change how it treats you. It's all that stuff. So if you don't have something strong and like just this self-acceptance.
Yes. Well, and I think about going back to siblings that we talked about, but and parents who I'd say, why aren't you more?
Yeah, more like this, more like
that. And my mom did that to me with some other people, not to my siblings, but to others.
People.
And it was like, because I know we're like George Costanza.
Yes.
But why aren't you? I can't remember that guy's name. But anyway,
so funny.
It was like, but it was like, well, they do, and she is subtle.
Subtle, yeah.
But they do that. I don't. Yeah. You're not ironing Paul's clothes. Well,
absolutely not. And I'm sorry, but you raised a daughter that hates to iron. And I will not.
And I'm like, sometimes, and sometimes he does mine. What do you want? But it's like, but those were subtle things. Like you're not. You're not. But I'm like,
strong in yourself. Then
you cave to that.
Oh, like that's not validate. It's like they're not accepting my way of life. Like what do I do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like when I started HelloFresh. That's not cooking.
It absolutely is.
I'm sorry, I cut and I stuff and I heat it in a pan.
It's
cooking, baby.
That is cooking.
There's just that thing. So if you're not sure of who you are,
then
you'll start going, oh, I must not be enough.
And then
as a mother, as a wife, as a person.
Well,
whatever.
then all you do is change yourself to fit whatever other people are currently accepting.
And you're miserable.
Yes, instead of just being grounded in yourself.
Who you are.
And I think it's important, like, the more you are with yourself, I think just naturally you're going to have people around you that feel like they validate you.
Because eventually you weed out the ones that don't. And not that you just want people that agree with you. I'm not saying agree with you, because you have different views, but you can do it in a healthy way.
And accept each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've definitely been friends with people that have very different political views. That have very different views on, family. And that's but I can still accept who they are as a person, and like at least validate in the sense of you're accepted.
You find your common threads and you go with those.
Exactly. And it's not like I have to say yes to everything they do.
Yeah.
That's not validation.
No, that's not validation. Yeah. That's not, that's just going, I accept you as a person.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about for sure. Yeah. But it's such a, I think it can be such a vague thing that can be difficult to define, and like difficult to define in the sense of like, what do you need to feel validated?
Yeah. So some of the signs that you may rely too much on validation.
Okay. Yeah.
You feel anxious waiting for feedback.
Oh yeah. Look at me.
Your mood depends on the praise or the criticism.
I've gotten better.
You often try to please others at your own expense.
Yes.
You avoid mistakes or risks because of fear of judgment.
Yes. Okay, I'm just saying I've gotten better, but these are things that I've struggled with. Yes.
Yet you can play a piano, memorize pieces for 45 minutes.
And it's wonderful, and I feel so good about it.
Yeah. You constantly compare yourself to others.
Not as much.
Okay. So
a
those
few
are
things,
some of the
but those are-
signs.
I'm not saying.
And how do you detach from that?
Oh, man.
So
Yeah.
one is you talked about become self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
Notice that you're seeking approval
Yep.
from outside instead of from yourself. Notice. Just begin to notice it.
Yeah. You don't have to do anything about it. But
Notice
just noticing. Yeah.
Write it down,
Yeah.
maybe, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Set some goals. Focus on what matters to you, not what others expect.
Yes. And I have this celebrating the small wins.
Yes.
So it's just like, oh, this person says something to me and I only spiraled for 2 minutes about it.
Instead of 10.
You know?
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And that's practicing self-compassion.
Exactly.
Being kind to yourself. Limit social media.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's probably one of the biggest ones, because I think that my thought on some of the Facebook, I think it's gotten back. Facebook, especially when it first started, was people validating themselves online.
Oh, it's so wild.
I did
this today.
Yes.
I looked
So
back at
it's like seeking those likes or something. I don't know.
Gosh,
anyway, so limiting that. Value genuine feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Ask for genuine feedback from people you trust, not just to feel good, but to learn. Oh, I said that and that sounded that way. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And then you build meaningful connections around yourself. We talked about that, you know?
Yeah.
And celebrate the silent wins, it says, which is your small wins.
Yeah.
Keep a note of that so that you can, it's
and then
hard.
that's something I'm having to do a lot of right now too, is like, I will spiral and like not accept things that are just part of me, or like things that I do. And or I'll be like, oh, well, went down that anxiety spiral again. But it's like, well, how did it go this time versus last time? Well, either it didn't happen for as long, or I caught it sooner, or, I knew it was coming, or any, little things.
And then
do
you reset the message in your head then?
Yes. Okay. And then it's not like it's not going to happen again.
No,
but
I mean,
it's a sense of like, you just like change your reaction speed. You change your reaction time a little bit too. And then, or, maybe it was something smaller in the day that kind of got to you, but you didn't let it get to you. And then eventually you build up your small wins to then, okay, a big life situation just happened and this is how I reacted. And it's like, but my reaction is valid and I'm okay. And like, people should accept me and I should accept myself for how I reacted to it.
Accept myself.
Yeah. And so it's like, then you build up to the bigger
And
ones.
if people don't accept me, that's on them, not me.
Yes. And that's a big
If we can separate that, that's on them, not me.
That's a hard one.
Yes, it is.
Because I just think, well, maybe if I had said it slightly different, or maybe if I had done it at a different time, but then I'm like, well, then I'd be rejecting myself. And that's
There
so good,
you
because
go.
I said it the way that I say it. I said it at a time that was good for me. I said,
We say it the way
So it's like, I don't need the validation from others. I mean, how they react is on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's big,
man. It is big.
I'm working
But
on.
it's important to self-growth.
It is.
It really is.
Because it's part of that feeling of self-acceptance, self-worth, knowing you're enough just as you are.
Yes.
All of it.
Yeah.
Which I think is key.
Society
for sure.
can be cruel.
I know. We have we've got some articles that
I'll be connecting.
that we can put on there. And then coming up too this month, we read a book.
There's a book called The Choice
by Edith Eger.
Yes,
Eger.
Eger. It's Having Hope in Hell or something. There is Hope in Hell or something like that. It really is good. It just made me stop and think. So we're going to kind of jump off of that.
But, talk about some of the points that we're in and stuff. So we haven't really done that before.
We have not. This is different. So we're going to do that.
It'll be great. And as we move forward into the fall, if you have topics or honestly now at this point, books or whatever, you'd like us to kind of hit on, please
let us know. We look forward to next week when we take a breath and take a listen.
Thank
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of An Incomplete Guide to Personal Growth. There are many ways you can stay connected. Follow us on Instagram at An Incomplete Guide Podcast, where you can sign up for our email list and get posts that delve deeper into our weekly topics. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast page wherever you listen to your podcasts. We would really appreciate a rating and sharing us with your family and friends.
We're so glad you chose to spend your time with us and hope there was a thought, a resource, or a laugh that you can take on your journey. We'll be here every Tuesday for you to take a breath and take a listen.